RIOT podcast.
Hello, everybody.
There's only like a whittle bit left.
Oh, my goodness. So it's Tuesday. Our fall fundraiser goes until Friday. So we are almost done. I know we have these short podcasts for you, but they will soon return in their long feature, especially when we're done with the fundraiser. We always have a lot to talk about, so you'll get extra stuff starting next week. But please help out with RadioU and help this podcast through RadioU.com if you want to donate.
The only thing I will tell you is Nikki and I are taking Monday off.
Oh, yeah. So this Tuesday we'll come back with a vengeance.
We haven't taken the Monday after the fundraiser off in
a long time.
A decade. I mean, we just don't do that anymore. We used to do it all the time. And you know what? This time around, I'm glad to see it return.
Yeah, it's going to be good. So, again, help out and support, though, at least for our fundraiser. And put in the comment section that you are a podcast listener. We really cheer every time we see one. And we get so many of those each day. And that is a big help to our fundraiser.
So, stuff we talk about on the podcast today, Little People figurines. Microsoft made a big purchase. And the British Bake Off returns this week.
I set a reminder.
Did you?
I set a reminder for Friday.
Other things, these are from the Worst of Bits.
Yeah.
Trying to take in less caffeine. What a joke for the podcast during the fundraiser.
That's not the time you do that. You shouldn't even think about that. This is when you increase.
That time,
just like with your donation.
Yes.
Never decrease, only increase.
That's right. We talk about wearing gloves, porta potties, and buying movies. And what happened to me. I remember this. This was from earlier this year.
Stuck with you well.
It's my secret shame. That, of course, any secret shame I have, I immediately bring to the show.
Well, if you're going through it, you know someone else is. So
Sure
it's
they
good
are.
to hear about it.
Sure they are.
So again, thank you so much for helping with our podcast and with RadioU through RadioU.com, and text and say hello. 877 to RadioU. Text that you're a podcast listener and put your name in there. And send us if there's any things you want to talk about, want us to talk about during the show. Send us a link anytime you find something.
It is the RIOT.
The RIOT. They're kind of a big deal.
Hey, can we do that again? Maybe a little more energy?
No. RadioU.
Nikki, did you see this article that I sent you about wearing gloves while you eat a hamburger?
I did not. I didn't have a chance to look at it yet.
So a blog that Nikki and I frequent is called The Takeout, and it's about food. But this is an article that is referencing a write-up in the New York Times for a place called Butter Bro. It's a gastro pub in Minsk.
Bro.
Yeah, Minsk. Like overseas.
Sure.
Yes. Okay. But in the photos, you see these people eating their burgers with gloves because they say that, burgers are really messy and that's kind of unsanitary and you don't want that. It's almost uncivilized to have that stuff all over your hands.
They're saying that in some European countries, it is a trend to provide gloves to diners if you order a hamburger.
Would you wear gloves to eat a burger?
No, I would not eat it. I would not, because sometimes I feel like it's not like there's a taste to the gloves, but there's
there's like a powdery,
a smell to it, to where if you're supposed to wear gloves, then yes, you want to, but not, I think, when eating a hamburger, because I feel like that would transfer to the taste of it when you were eating it.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I don't think I'm game for that. Though I will say, a lot of times if you hand me a burger in a wrap,
yeah,
I'll eat it out of the wrap.
No, because sometimes you eat the wrap. You got to be careful. Don't eat the paper.
This has happened to you?
Yes, it has. Not a lot, but just like a little.
Enough for you to be concerned?
Yeah, I don't want that, because if it's messy enough, it gets lost in the mess. Anybody else? No?
Not me, but in fairness, my burgers are pretty plain Jane.
Now, Matt just texted. He said, Minsk is where I ate horse. And he was rather lots of exclamation points. So I see you traveled there, Matt. Is that what you're saying?
Wow.
And you ate horse?
So,
okay.
Good.
Did you have gloves? Do they provide gloves?
Did you have horse gloves?
Do they provide gloves for that or something?
It's a good question.
It's something to think about here. And I don't think it didn't seem like it was COVID from the European country.
No. This is just that the burgers are messy.
And then they just provide gloves, so it's not a health reason.
I don't think I want the gloves.
I don't want them because it does have that powder stuff or whatever.
And sure, you'll be like, oh, not all gloves have that.
Yeah, they do.
They don't smell good. I don't want to.
I mean, am I supposed to bring my own winter gloves or something to eat the hamburgers? I don't know.
No. What's going on?
Nothing. We're not going to do. They say that it's almost impossible for this trend to take off in the United States. It's not going to.
Because we're filthy pigs.
Well, we're fine with it, and we're set in our ways.
Americans with your stupid fireworks and your burgers with your bare hands. Look at you.
They're saying that gloves could be useful in cases, say, you haven't washed your hands prior to eating. And they say that Americans, they doubt, will do something like that. Wash our hands or wear the gloves. I can't tell. But they say we take our burger culture way too seriously and we're too set in our ways.
Come on. I like everything they said there. We take burgers seriously, set in our ways. Let me tell you what that is right there, Nikki. That is America.
Is it?
It is America. You can keep your sissy little gloves for burgers.
I wish you could make it's not an eagle, but it's like our hawk sound. We still have our, because that's even more. There it is.
Come on.
There it is.
Now give me that burger and keep the gloves.
We don't want the gloves, so.
Hey, and Matt says that he had horse and it was delicious.
Matt, I don't want to talk about that.
What's worse than the worst of the riot? The worst of the riot podcast. Yeah, you did this to yourself. Podcast. Riot. RadioU.
Well, Nikki, with all this Christmas discussion, it seems fitting that you and I would have a little Christmas look at, what are some of the things that you and I wish that we could put under the Christmas tree this year?
Oh, already? Are there ideas?
Do you know what little people are?
Don't know. What are you saying?
The toys?
No, I don't.
They're the little ones from, is it Fisher Price, I think?
It's like Legos, but not.
They're starting to do little people collector's editions. Because,
like Legos, but
if
not.
If Legos can do it, so can we.
So what are they doing?
They're doing an Elf little people collector.
Oh, for the movie?
Yep.
Oh, that's fun.
You get Buddy the Elf, and it looks like he's holding some alcohol, but it's actually maple syrup.
Because remember in the movie, you got to look carefully, don't you?
I actually thought, I was like, what is he? Oh, right.
Who's this focused for?
Yeah. And then it's got his girlfriend, whose name I don't remember. Mm-hmm. And then there's a Christmas tree.
Oh, I see. It's $15.
Yeah. But that's
Why did you think that was alcohol? That obviously looks like maple syrup.
Maybe I have a problem. I don't know.
It's got the leaf on it.
I didn't look closely, okay? I was scrolling.
I was scrolling. Maple syrup.
Okay, all right. It's obviously maple syrup. It's fine.
It's cute, though.
It is. There's that, but that's not the only one that they're releasing this Christmas. Mm-hmm. There's also a little something for the fans of Middle Earth.
Oh, for Lord of the Rings?
A Lord of the Rings Fellowship of the Ring Little People Collector's set.
Didn't that come out always at Christmas time?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, all right.
That was a Christmas thing.
Lord of the Rings, I see.
Little people.
Little people collectors.
There are 6 items in there. You get Aragorn, Gimli, oh, crap.
And more.
Legolas, Frodo, and Gandalf. And then who is... I can't remember her name.
Lady Arwen?
Yeah, Arwen.
Yeah, you get Arwen.
There you go. So you get those 6 people.
This isn't quite like Lego sets because you're not doing anything with it. You don't build anything.
You know what? I prefer this to a Lego set.
Because you don't have to?
I don't like the way Legos look when they're done.
You don't?
No, I don't.
Why?
They need softer edges. I don't like the hard, angular.
These seem chewable. Like you could just gnaw on these things.
You know what, Nikki? Every once in a while, I get a hankering to chew.
Why not on Middle Earth, the collector's set?
You know what they should do? They should make that Buddy the Elf one maple syrup flavored.
I don't know how old these are, but it seems like they've tried other collector sets because they have like an Office one, Jurassic World one, and a few others. So.
Okay, well, these are just the new ones.
Cute! Those are cute.
This is the kind of stuff that I'm a sucker for.
This you could put on your desk, actually.
I know.
That's exactly what these look like.
That's how I end up with
stuff
things
on your desk.
I don't need.
Yeah.
That's how I end up with things I don't need.
All right, well, the Elf one and the Little People Middle Earth, they're hoping that we would collect these.
I could totally buy that Lord of the Rings one. I mean, until I look at the price tag and it's $30, and then you're like...
compared to Lego prices, though, that's nothing.
Also true.
Legos would be like, it is $300 and you must give us one ring.
like it's $30 and it comes with one character. But for an additional $100 a piece, we'd be happy to give you each extra character.
That's Lego prices. This does not seem as bad.
You know what? You made me feel better already.
Giving every novelty food the publicity it so blatantly desires. It's The Riot on RadioU.
So a phone call was placed early this morning to the La Crosse Police Department about a little something that happened to the Porta Potty near the Pettibone Boat Club last night.
Uh-oh. Were people blowing up the Porta Potties?
Somebody blew up the Porta Potty, and I don't mean...
Like, which way did they do it?
Because
with sick tummy or with explosives?
I'm telling you that there are pieces of Porta Potty everywhere.
Can't clean that up, guys. Can't clean it up.
Now, what the police are trying to figure out, did someone have it out for the Pettibone Boat Club?
Was this a message?
They're trying to send a message. All right. They're trying to tell them.
Someone mad at someone there?
If you don't pay up your protection money, something might happen to your Porta Potty.
Now, listen, okay. Now, let's walk with this.
Okay.
You know how sometimes we always think things are the worst, and maybe it's not a crime, but maybe something happened. Someone had a very sick tummy. They got so sick, and then they were embarrassed about how they left the Porta Potty. And the only example or the only thing to do was just blow it up because they didn't want anybody else to see. It's like, to see what happened to it.
So, really, this was a crime of passion. It was not premeditated.
No, it was just a spur of the moment, like, oh my gosh, what did I do?
What have I done?
Yeah, and that's the only way they could make it go away, that they could see the possible way of doing it. Do you think? Or someone had it out for the club.
I just want you to know that had never occurred to me until this moment.
Oh, you need to be more optimistic about people and porta potties and crime.
No, that's not what I hear at all. Okay, here's what I hear. You have a deathly fear of porta potties.
I hate them. I absolutely hate them. They're gross.
You know what?
They could burn.
It's self-loathing.
You think?
Because I think what has happened is I've never left a porta potty and been like, oh my gosh, I'm so ashamed of the mess I've made. I want to blow it up.
You're ashamed that you went in.
But I think that maybe
you couldn't hold it.
Somebody in this room at one point in their younger years did something so terrible to a porta potty that they no longer want to go in them. So it seemed perfectly reasonable that someone would say,
no, that's not the case.
That's the read I'm getting right now.
Maybe someone went in and accidentally looked in the hole, just realized what it is. Because that's like an opening to...
When you stare into the abyss.
To the flames in the middle of the earth.
The abyss stares back at you.
Yeah, and you just can't help but how your body reacts, and it might have just been to burn it to the ground.
You just all of a sudden were like, this is an abomination.
Yeah, you had to get rid of it.
Okay. All right. I like that. We should probably call the La Crosse Police Department.
Let them know that's an option.
These are ideas they haven't even explored. Mm-hmm. They're probably looking for an explosive device. And it's like, hey, listen, you
don't know.
Just walk away.
I just envision
you don't want to know.
Someone just lights a match and drops it in there, and that's all you have to do to blow it up.
That to me seems like a legit possibility.
But anyways,
that's actually the first thing I thought was like,
yeah, how they do it.
That's a lit match, and that was the end of that.
Or
swamp gas. You know what I'm saying?
Never mind. I don't know if I can say that. Oh, all right. No. Well, if someone uses the bathroom and it's bad, don't they sometimes just light a match?
Yeah.
So what if they did it on accident and they just lit a match out of accident and then just blew up?
Whoops.
So again, let's think good about people. Maybe this wasn't a crime and it was just an accident and they're embarrassed now, so they're not going to come forward.
I mean, they would, but they don't want anybody to know.
They don't want anybody to know that's what they did.
It was them. Or I still like the idea, too, of the mafia sending a message.
That also could be possible.
Yeah.
The worst podcast with the best listeners. This is the Worst of the Riot podcast.
You guys know I've always got my head in the video game news, but the last couple of weeks have been just loaded with juicy tidbits.
It's been news, but nothing. Like, there's nothing new out, though. So I feel like they got to come up with something like physical.
No, they got...
Or like a game. There's just all news. That's it.
The Mafia remake is coming out Friday.
That doesn't count. That's not it.
I know.
It's all speculation or like pricing, but I feel like we want something.
This right here, this blows my mind. Yesterday, Microsoft announced that they are buying ZeniMax Studios.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, who cares? No. They own Bethesda. They're the people that make Skyrim. And so that means that the sequel to Skyrim will be an Xbox exclusive.
Ooh.
That's kind of a big deal for all the nerds out there.
So when is the sequel supposed to happen?
Probably sometime in the next 15 to 20 years.
Okay, good. I wanted to make sure it was soon enough.
They did like a little, they showed you a
snippet?
picture. They showed a picture of a mountain last year with the logo on it.
No way.
Yeah, they did.
That was it?
Yes.
Where is this stuff?
But then they also said, like, there's another game that comes out before that.
Yeah.
And they say it might not be an Xbox exclusive, but it probably will be.
From Bethesda or Skyrim?
From Bethesda.
Bethesda.
But that's the Skyrim people.
Gotcha.
So they make a bunch of games. Microsoft has bought, if you go back and look, they have bought a lot of people in the last 2 years.
You mean a lot of companies?
Yes. But companies are people, Nikki.
Mm-hmm.
They have the rights of... But I mean, like, it's kind of crazy when you look at all the different companies that they've bought.
Well, they have a lot to show for it.
They don't.
I know, that's why I'm saying it.
You're right. I wish they would make a video game. That they were supposed to at least give us a new Halo this year, and they were like,
No, not why this year?
Maybe next year.
No, I do understand because they said during quarantine, everybody else who was able to work from home, they kept reminding everybody for video games, you think you can work from home for that sort of style, but you cannot.
They said it was very hard.
They say you really need to be in the same building, the same team, the same art, in the same building to work. And that was not possible because they could not have people together. So, yes, some games, we don't have them yet, and we won't get them until next year because they weren't able to actually keep working on them.
And also, today's the day that the pre-orders start for the Xbox Series X. You know what? I'm just going to tell you right now. You could give money to RadioU and skip that because there's nothing to play.
There's nothing to play with it.
There's nothing there, and you can come back to it next year.
So you can still get it, but then you can also still support RadioU since we have a more urgent, necessary need for this year.
Where do you go when you need someone to listen to your problems and give you a big hug? Not here. Obviously, this is The Riot on RadioU.
So last week, was it? Yeah, it was like, maybe it was last weekend. I had decided, hey, you know what? Like, I'm going to go grab a movie on my way home. And I got two movies. I got Jaws and another movie. And
you're not going to say what the other movie was?
It doesn't matter what it is.
Well, I think it always is.
It's not RoboCop 2.
It's a part of the narrative.
I got
with it.
3 movies.
You got 3 movies?
Yeah.
Okay. So what else or what happened?
So I got my 3rd movie.
Uh-huh.
And I was, excited about watching it, whatever. They came at different times. And so I was going to watch it. I didn't get around to it. And yesterday I was in the studio, like getting some stuff out of my bag. And I was like, what the heck? How did this get in here? How did I put this movie in this bag? And so I went ahead and I made sure I stuck it on the top. So when I got home, I pulled it out.
Unload your bag.
So I opened my bag and I took my movie downstairs and I
think I know where this is going.
I took that unopened copy of the movie and set it down right on top of the other unopened copy of it.
Did you buy 2 of the same and not know that you already had one?
A month ago.
Yeah.
I bought it and was all excited to watch it and put it in my bag. And
had the movie.
I forgot
that you had the movie.
And in all my years of buying and collecting movies,
this is the first time?
Never done that. I have always known, like kept track of, been aware of. I have that version. I bought it from this place. It's ridiculous, but I can go through. I can tell you where I bought a movie, what I paid for it. I don't know why.
This is all the stuff that his brain remembers.
But my brain remembers all of that stuff.
So it's not like you bought the 4K and you had the Blu-ray.
I bought 2 of the exact same things.
So what does this mean leading from there? Like from that starting point, does that lead to any changes or like, I'm sure there's an app where you can organize them.
I've done that.
But you didn't check the app before buying?
No, because the app was just for fun.
Oh, and
I didn't need accountability or whatever. Like I knew.
Yeah, Stephanie said you should have a spreadsheet, so you kind of already have that.
I do have a spreadsheet, and it's fun. I don't know what one night. I was just like, this is fun.
Cataloging your library,
my movies, and all of that, and like, I know.
What are you gonna do? Can you return one? Or?
Oh yeah. I actually filled out the stuff, and I'll drop it in the the whole UPS like return at the Amazon. That is the best. You just hand them a piece of paper, they box it up, ship it.
You don't even need the paper. Just show them they just scan the code.
Okay, whatever. I always give them the paper.
Well, that's an extra step.
I guess it is.
Just have them scan the code. You don't even have to pack the thing.
And so, yeah, that's beautiful. You're done, whatever. It's great.
I'm sorry we had a problem with your ordering system.
No, I feel like I crossed over a line. I don't know what the line was or what it means and how it should affect my behavior going forward.
So we're not sure on that yet, but something.
I'm going to spend a lot of my time on vacation just figuring out what it means. But
I like when we just think about it. It doesn't lead to change, but we're just going to think about it.
This is bad, guys. This is bad.
Were you disappointed in yourself or just the fact that you couldn't catch it, that you already had the movie?
I don't know. I just looked at it and I was like, what? Really?
You already had, and it was in your bag. It was on you.
Oh, I've carried that everywhere I've gone. That movie has been with me for a solid month everywhere I've gone.
Well,
I think I bought it. I'm not making this up. I'm all but sure that I bought it for Memorial Day weekend. So you
did the same thing. You were going to buy it to watch over a weekend.
That's exactly right. And
well, check your spreadsheet from now on.
I just want to point out, though, I did watch RoboCop 2 and Jaws. Like, that happened.
Just not this one.
Just not that third one.
You have the 2 copies of it.
Yeah. I thought I'd just let it sit for a while.
Proper planning prevents poor performance. Clearly, the riot didn't properly plan. This is the worst of the riot on RadioU.
It could be happening right now. No, probably not, because they're like 6-7 hours ahead of us, the UK. You know, Nikki, today is the day.
For what?
The Great British Bake Off returns.
Oh, it does. Oh, my gosh. What do we call it here? I forget.
The Great British Baking Show is what it's called here.
Yeah, that's the one on Netflix. Yep. Does that mean we get that?
On Friday.
No.
It's real.
It is.
It's real.
That's when the fundraiser ends. No.
I know.
No, I get that.
I know.
I'm so excited. I'm going to put that on my thing.
It's embarrassing because I shouldn't like it.
Yeah, but you do.
I love it.
Oh, I'm so excited.
It's this nice, calm reality show that's about food.
Yeah.
And, I'm not going to say there's no tension or there's no energy, but there's no fighting.
Well,
There's
they
no
said
yelling.
It might be different this time, and there's a reason for it.
Why?
So they filmed the British Bake Off a little bit after their quarantine had lifted up earlier in the springtime from COVID stuff. But they did not allow older people on the show because, especially around then, they felt like older people were more susceptible to it. So there is not the elderly side of it like there sometimes is on this show.
Okay, now that may be true.
So it could be younger people.
Well, I'll tell you this. I'm counting 4 contestants with silver hair.
You see some older ones?
Now, admittedly, silver hair does not necessarily mean anything. I had a friend that had, real talk, he was like completely gray at like 25.
Yeah.
So, that.
Well, I guess we'll have to find out. They also filmed this one differently, though. Normally, for the reality show, they would film on the weekends, and then they would have the week at home, the contestants would.
Right.
For this, I think they did it. Is it 2 days on, 2 days off? But
I don't know.
They weren't allowed to leave, so they had to stay there the entire time.
Whoa, now that could raise tensions.
So you couldn't practice. Like you used to have the whole week to practice your stuff. And then production crews were also just a little bit more tense, they said, because you used to have the whole week to do the production stuff, but you had to just constantly go back and forth.
Nikki, if you tell me that this is going to turn into...
It could be tension-filled.
One of those... I don't want to hear about it. And then you turn around and blame COVID-19.
That's what they're doing.
I'm done.
So did they say they're all coming out or just like one a week or something?
I assume it's just one a week.
One a week.
Because
I don't care. I'm so
because
excited.
it's just returning to the UK today.
Sure.
So that means, you got 3
They wouldn't
days.
have all of them.
Right.
So can we make sure we finish the fundraiser on time, guys?
Well, Nikki, that's
maybe
not
even
up to
early.
me. It's not up to me.
Up to you guys.
But we'll try.
Oh, thanks for telling me. I didn't know that. I didn't see it on any of the upcoming things.
Well, I'm looking at the cast photos and stuff this morning, and so again, it feels a little embarrassing and it feels a little off-brand.
But
I like it.
So it's the British. What do they say? What do they call it again? In where
the
it's
UK,
at?
it's the Great British Bake Off. In the US
on
it's
Netflix.
The Great British Baking Show.
Something like that. They changed the name for here.
You'll get it. You'll know what I mean.
I gave during the last fundraiser, and all I got was this crappy morning show. This is The Riot on listener-supported Radio U.
So, trying to drink a little less coffee. This is only my second cup of coffee, Nikki. So, I started out with 8 ounces of coffee. And now we're, however far through the show. By now, I would have done at least one more cup of coffee, if not be on my 3rd cup.
Is it a coffee thing or a caffeine thing?
Well, I'm also having some Diet Mountain Dew over here.
So I didn't know if
yesterday, I'm in stages. I'm still behind where I was yesterday.
normally are clocking in at,
Yeah. So, but I got to tell you, I'm tired. Yeah. I'm real tired.
Well, what can we do? Well, there's nothing we can do about
Nothing.
it. Since you can't do all that. You want something for breakfast? Can we make you some toast? Or
oh my gosh, I totally forgot.
Does he have toast in his bag?
No, I brought us some bagels.
Hey, you should make a bagel. A nice, warm, toasty breakfast.
No.
That'll put you to sleep right away.
I was going to say, if I go make one of those bagels, I'm going to be asleep in 20 minutes.
You'll be fine. You just have to time it right. You'll be fine.
No, it's inescapable, this tired thing. And then you start stuff like, well, you getting enough vitamin C?
Well, no.
Are you getting enough this?
You just say it's allergies. Just blame it on that.
But I'm just telling you, I see the trap that I fall into every day, and that is I'm really having an anxiety issue. So I'm like, all right, I'm going to take some
caffeine
steps.
Can make that worse.
It can make it worse.
So
like
a bagel won't.
A little less caffeine. But guess what else? I'm so tired. And so that's how I end up drinking all that caffeine.
You're in a vicious cycle.
I am.
But maybe you're just going to have to. And then next week you're on vacation. So It's like.
You know what?
Should you start this after?
I'll come back from vacation refreshed for 2 days.
And then it'll just go back to the same thing.
Then you just go right back to it. And it's fine.
Maybe, I don't know, try just little steps, all right? They say
Baby steps.
What is it? Every time it's just an opportunity to make whatever choice works.
Okay.
Don't flush the whole day away if we make a mistake. Let's just try.
Well, I'm still drinking this coffee. But daggone, it'd be great is, how do you guys feel about what if Nikki and I just took... it's a non-judgment nap. It's nobody's going to...
We're just playing songs. Will they even notice?
Probably not.
If songs keep playing, would you notice that the DJs were asleep? We're not allowed to do that.
All right.
But if enough people say we can, then we're just listening to the listeners.
I feel like I can trace all the problems in my life to this show. Because I'm up
No, it's because you're just getting up early.
I'm up too early. Mm-hmm. So it's not the show either. We need to move the show into the afternoon or... something like that. So then I could sleep till noon, 1 o'clock.
And you'll be fine.
And then I'd finally be ready to face the day.
Well,
a shortened day.
You want 3 minutes and 15 seconds? Can I give you that? You want to close an eye? Just close your eyes.
It'll make it worse.
It won't. Just a little. You'll wake up, you're like, oh, big stretch. Give a couple of stretches and you'll be fine. Then you go make that bagel.
I need to go. If I just stretch, if I just get my blood pumping a little bit, I'll wake up.
Go do some jumping jacks or something.
That's what I do. You guys should, Nikki and I are here doing squats and all this stuff, just trying to stay awake.
Just trying your best.
They sound so energized. No, it's all artificial.
No, just say with a smile. It's not so bad.
Hey, you know what? Don't worry, guys.
Everything's going to be all right. It's going to get through this.
We're going to get through this.
The worst of the riot is over, but the fun can keep going.
Hey, I saw you checking out my goods.
Check the Riot blog or stalk us on social media.
You want to sample them? A little try before you buy, huh?
Through riot.radiou.com.
Nikki, as a gamer, I got to have all the energy I can get to sit here.